This week on Tales from a Passport, the islands have opened up and we're going out with our boat buddies for a night on the town as we enjoy some good food, some great drinks, and even better company. We also say goodbye to our oldest and dearest boat buddies, the Rybers. Although this chapter of our travels is coming to an end, I have a feeling this won't be the last adventure we'll share with the Rybers. We started feeling the effects of COVID in the USVI in mid-March. After over 2 months of restaurants being closed, today they're officially opening back up for business. The adults, we all met at Cruise Bay where we would enjoy some wine and appetizers at Katy Ligo before moving on to La Tapa for some amazing tapas, wine, and cocktails. Then we closed down the beach bar while enjoying some Caribbean-inspired cocktails and make some memories with our boat buddies. Honestly, tonight, we're just thankful to be off the boat and return to a somewhat normal life where we could celebrate and enjoy the company of our boat buddies while being able to sit down for some great food and drinks. However, we were also celebrating tonight. We were celebrating the past 4 months of being together through one of the most uncertain times in history. This is to our boat buddies, Mathis and Danielle Ryber, Brett and Crystal Murphy, John and Heather Cody, Captain John and Captain Wendy, and Colin and Bex McGurran. Every day we ate together, we lived together. We were literally together every day from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. for months. You can't really help but to get to know people when you spend that much time together. This was probably the biggest blessing that came from the pandemic. These boat buddies, they became our family. We've shared some of our life's most amazing experiences with this crew. The most memorable day I had in the Caribbean was the day I saw a hammerhead and we lost our dinghy engine 40 feet below the surface of the water. The Rybers, Captain John and Wendy were there for that one. And that was the night we met the Murphys. And the Buck Island Beach Fire Cookout was prepared by the Michelin-star chef himself, Colin McGurran. John and Heather Cody, those are the two you gotta watch out for. And anyone who's ever been Cody'd, you know what I'm talking about. Without you all, this adventure would not have been the same. We never did make it down to Dominica to swim with those whales, and we never got to make it to Nevis for those killer bees. We never got to experience the Turks and Caicos, and we didn't even make it to the Bahamas to see that crystal clear water. But that's the way life works. Sometimes it doesn't go all as planned. And this time, we're thankful it did not. This is a day that was supposed to happen many times during our sailing adventure. The Rybers had plans to sail on, and we had plans of our own. 4 months later, that day finally came, and the Rybers were packing up to leave. This was also the realization to our own family that our journey was slowly coming to an end. It's hard to imagine what these past 4 months would have been like without the Rybers. The date was February 9th, and we were a month into our sailing adventure. The boys had not found any other full-time cruising kids, and they were starting to get on each other's nerves. Susan would encourage them to play with other kids, but oftentimes they were just too shy. But on this day, we were at Joost Van Dyke at the famous Soggy Dollar Bar. We had just swam up to the beach from the anchored boat. There in the distance, Susan saw 2 boys throwing a football on the beach. She told Denver and Hudson to go ask them if they could join. Denver was a hard no. Hudson, on the other hand, well, he didn't really answer. 30 minutes later, we found him throwing a football with a kid that was around his age. Come to find out, they were full-time live-aboard kids too. Before we swam back, Susan decided to run over and introduce herself to the parents and invited them to meet us in St. John. From that day on, we did everything together. Denver always talks about the fishing and watching movies and wakeboarding. Hudson loved playing tag on Colette, tubing, and doing the birthday rippers. We remember the hikes, the dinners, the diving, and the boogie boarding. Mathis, he's the kind of guy you want your kids to grow up to be like. He's always humble, he's always selfless, and always made sure I had a cold drink in my hand, whether he was drinking or not. He taught me that if you really wanted to see something, the first thing you have to do is just look at it. So, cheers to Mathis. Danielle, you're Susan's go-to girl. Thanks for stepping out of your comfort zone and going on all her crazy adventures. Dora laughs about the time you all went paddleboarding into the wind at Maho, followed by a 5-mile hike for breakfast and coffee at the North Shore Deli. The snorkeling trips were amazing and the meals were delicious. And I tip my hat to both of you ladies. I'm sure not many people have hiked the entire island of St. John. Tice, man, I had a great time getting to know you and hanging out. I can't believe you hiked Ram's Head barefoot. You mastered the art of blowing the perfect bubble ring. You became personal besties with Barnacle Bill. And you're a part of every shark story I have. I look forward to keeping up with you and will miss our conversations on editing. It's not every day I get to geek out on that stuff. Diesel, what can I say, man? You're not only the master of the Rubik's Cube, but you're also the originator of the Rubik's Dance. You're the marlin catcher who hits every time, your crabbing is legendary, and you're the founder of Salty Bracelets 2020. Woot woot! Thanks for your outgoing personality. After all, it's what brought us all together. When I was in college, I went to Europe for a month, and at the time, I wanted to be a photographer for National Geographic, so I invested all of my money into a nice camera that I had planned to take with me. I got some great images throughout the 13 countries we visited, but when I got the images back, I purposely tried to frame the images with no people in them, only the subject. To this day, I can look through these pictures and I know I visited the place, but I don't remember where it was or what we did. I learned a valuable lesson at the expense of that trip. I learned that people are what make the memory. We can't imagine what our trip would be like if we never had that chance encounter on the beach. Thank you guys for the memories. You'll forever be our friends, forever be our family.